Wait, so we get a little audience.
I didn't. I don't even know how from this screen to do it.
All
right. You do it, and I'll recap. You do the tweet. Well, we talked about George McGinnis passing and how we both had great respect for George McGinnis and the heritage of that Pacers team and of his high school basketball career. We talked about IU Kansas, how Dan thinks that Kansas is going to, Indiana's going to beat Kansas on Saturday.
I do.
12:30.
Yeah.
I can't see it because I've never seen it. And then we were talking about the Colts and the Steelers and how we perceive the Steelers to be the tougher franchise always, and whether that can be overcome on Saturday afternoon, right after the IU Kansas game. It's like you can watch the IU Kansas game, ends at about 2:30, get in the car, head down to Lucas Oil, and enjoy yourself watching the Colts hopefully kick the living hell out of the Steelers.
What a day. What a day. Right here in the great city of Indianapolis.
This is really like between now and the Super Bowl, and I'll even extend it. We can take it out to the Final Four in the NCAA championship. This is really the sweet spot of the sports calendar in Indiana, isn't it?
I think so. And I think one of the things you and I did talk about was I think that Saturday with the basketball, not only Indiana and Purdue, but there's great games all over the place in terms of basketball. And you know what? The football, though, on Saturday, I'm kind of digging football on Saturday, Kent, until I get to Sunday. And then I'm like, oh, man, I want to watch the Colts on Sunday. You know what I mean? But I love
it. All of a sudden, we're watching the Bears and like the Vikings or the Jaguars and the Cardinals. And like, what the hell is this? It's a terrible game.
Yeah, I don't like that. I'm not digging on that at all. But anyway, all right, let's go to the Colts. What needs to happen for the Colts to get a win in your mind?
You got to put pressure on Trubisky. And if you can get him to cough it up, you got a real good chance to win. And then you got to keep TJ Watt off of Minshew's ass. You got to protect him, whether he's on the left side or the right side. You got to find a way to help with the tight end and keep him buttoned up. Or all of a sudden, Minshew's going to be the guy turning it over and not Trubisky.
I agree. And man, we're going to say it, Kent, and we're going to say it, and we're going to say it because we've seen it. But you better not turn it over if you're Trubisky. And wouldn't it be nice? Now, wouldn't it be nice one time to get off to a good start? I was thinking about that. They don't get off to good starts.
Not very often.
You know what I mean?
And they sure didn't in Cincinnati.
No.
They tend to, well, it's kind of like the Gus Bradley modality, is that what Gus Bradley does is he starts playing Gus Bradley football and doing what Gus Bradley does until it becomes really apparent to everybody that that's not working. And then he makes minor tweaks. And sometimes the tweaks work and sometimes the tweaks don't, but it drives me crazy.
You got all week, right? I mean, I remember Venturi saying with Bill Belichick, look, he come in on Sunday after the game and go, all right, here's the next game. I want to know by Monday how we're stopping this guy and this guy. And so you got all week to figure it out. And then the game goes different. It's organic, but still, that's been a disappointment. Like in Tennessee, I don't know, they got down 10 pretty early, or maybe they were down 7, whatever it was at halftime, but they got down early in the first drive. I swear to God, the first drive, it was so easy. And I remember sitting there going, wait a second here.
Yeah.
What do we do during the week? And then last week, it's 14-0. And then you go in at halftime and it's 28-14. I mean,
yeah.
At some point, particularly with a quarterback, to your point, you got to get off to a good start. You got to.
And to your point about the Patriots, the Steelers just got their ass kicked by the Patriots last Thursday night, right?
Yeah.
So Belichick has shown you how to do it. There it is. You don't have to invent it. You don't even have to look at tape of another game. All you have to do is figure out what Belichick did, ape that, and all of a sudden, there you are. I mean, he game planned for you. So just do what Belichick did and call it a day.
Easier said than done. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just sitting there looking at it going, wait, Belichick's deal has always been take away the best with your
Yeah.
second best corner and a safety, and then put your best on the second best. You eliminate him. But here's the deal. Here's where I get interested in this game. Mike Tomlin this week came out and basically told George Pickens to shut the hell up. You know, the wide receiver, he and Deontay Johnson act like kids and they're acting like idiots. And Tomlin said, look, this is counterproductive. You're not helping a situation here, you know, which is the modern version of cussing a kid out because nobody really wants to come in the media. But I thought that needed to happen because every single play, and I don't know for whatever the reason, Ken, I've been watching the Steelers play, is like every play. Those two guys, one of the two is giving it this or, oh, man, you know, all the crap that children do, Kent.
You know, and we talked about it with Giannis, that people are, and with Draymond Green, you've got to exhibit some impulse control. You've got to find a way not to, like, everybody gets frustrated. I get frustrated. When I've shown frustration in the workplace, generally it hasn't gone too terribly well. So I don't recommend it, and I think that they ought to stop immediately.
Yeah, and you know, I just it's almost like this. Ken, I swear to God. And now we've come to the wide receiver acting like an idiot portion of the game, right?
Yeah.
Not only them, it's Stephon Diggs, or I guess Hopkins tried to do it in the Colts game against Levis, and Levis was having none of it, which is good. But we get to that portion of the program, and I want that to continue because I really think that's hurt the Steelers. Steelers really don't have that crap historically. They just don't.
No, it's team first. They buy in. They know that they can't get a coach fired. And I think that's a big deal. You go back to like 1970, it's Noel, Cowher, Tomlin. That's it. We don't fire coaches. So if you think you're going to come in my office and whatever Rooney is
Right.
running things now and think that you're going to pick my scab and I'm going to react by firing my guy, I'm not. That's my guy. You're a player. He's a coach. Behave like it. And now we know why George Pickens was the guy who was passed over by teams rather than taken at the level that his talent would dictate.
You know, there's really never been. There's two things in football that a couple guys told me this week, and I've talked about one in the past. There's never really been a pain in the ass diva wide receiver that's won a Super Bowl. Now, a couple have gotten there. Randy Moss decided not to be one when he was with the New England Patriots. I think Terrell got to one, and then he became a pain in the ass with Donovan McNabb, on the sideline. And the other thing is, and this has become a thing this year or this week because of Cam Newton talking about game managers, Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy, game managers. Guy also told me, hey, Dan, game managers win Super Bowls. Call them whatever the hell you want. Game managers win fucking Super Bowls, period. They do. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah. That's exactly right. That's what you needed. Like back in the day, that's what those guys were. And now you've got kind of everybody likes the five-tool guy. But the five-tool guy doesn't win nearly as often as the game manager. Everybody wants a running quarterback. You can look, there have been some guys who've been able to do it and kind of defy those odds. And everybody says that that traditional drop back quarterback, the Manning type guy, the Brady type guy, those guys can't win and you can't win with them. I think that's crazy. I think you just need the right guy to be in that position. You look at Purdy's a great example. Like Purdy doesn't do anything great, but he never loses you a game and he gets the open receiver the ball. And that's what being a good quarterback is.
Totally agree. Like, I don't think a running quarterback, and I think, who would be the running quarterback? Lamar Jackson would be a running quarterback. I'm just trying to think. Like, Justin Fields would be a running quarterback.
Right. And Mahomes would not be. Mahomes is a quarterback who's capable of running.
That's what I thought. That's what was kind of going to be my point. Mahomes, not so much a running quarterback. Russell Wilson, when he won a championship, I don't think he was a running quarterback.
No.
I think no. So, we talk about, I like a quarterback that can use his legs, and I think Trubisky will be dangerous. I think he can use his legs, and I think you got to, what do they call it? Stay in your rush lanes and be disciplined and all that.
Yeah.
But almost everybody can do that. Now, how Minshew can do that a little bit. I mean, I don't think most guys aren't as dangerous as Fields or aren't as dangerous as Lamar Jackson. But most guys now can move it around pretty good. They really can.
And that's where the Colts need to get with Richardson. They need to turn him from a running quarterback into a quarterback who can run so that he's not like if you got an RPO and he brings it around the right side, he's going to get hit by somebody and you don't want him to get hit. Turn him into a guy where when the pocket collapses and he moves out of it, he can go get you 20, 25 yards and then slide. That'd be a great thing. I don't want to see that guy on like design quarterback sweeps because clearly he gets hit and hurt doing that. So,
Ken, I'm so with you. Like, pure running quarterbacks don't have a long shelf life in the NFL. Robert Schwartz just said that. And he's right. That's what infuriated me because Richardson got hurt initially with a shoulder when it was a designed quarterback sweep. It might as well have been the single wing or the single T or whatever the hell they used to call it.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
That's stupid. You're going to run enough in a game for your life out of a pocket. You don't, if somebody just did that, oh man, who was it? I was watching an NFL game. I think it was a Sunday night game, and they did that. And whether it was Collinsworth or maybe it was Monday night, I don't know. They basically, maybe it was Aikman, said the same thing. It's just stupid. You don't put your quarterback because as soon as there's no threat of a pass, what they said was those safeties come down like bullets, and they're going to knock you in the freaking, you know what I mean? And
Yep.
rude. It's dumb. It's just dumb.
And the one guy we didn't mention is I don't think we did, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
And Jalen Hurts is a guy who's managed to stay relatively healthy doing what he does. But every time he runs with a football, Eagles fans have got to be like, you know, Kevin in Home Alone.
That's who it was. They called a design run for Hurts around the right side. And Collinsworth and everybody was like, what are you doing? Because you get hit enough. You're running enough. You know, I mean, don't put yourself out there and figure it out. So, like, I watched Purdy. I always said this about Tom Brady. Tom Brady to me, now maybe people go different, but Tom Brady to me was the best thrower. He and Dan Marino were the two best throwers of the football that I personally saw. Like, I thought the ball came out of his hand beautifully, and it seemed to float, which made it uber easy to catch. I see that in Purdy. Like, I think Purdy, I've watched him enough. Like, man, this dude throws it like Brady.
How do people miss that?
I don't know.
Like, I liked him coming out of Iowa State, but I never thought, oh, this is a guy who should be taken in the first 3 rounds. You know what I mean? Like, and you think, okay, why can't Ellinger play like that?
Right.
If we're going to go take a guy in the 6th round, why can't he be like Brock Purdy or Tom Brady or, you know, some damn guy who can play?
Maybe Ellinger would in San Francisco. I don't know.
You know what? That's a really good system, and he's got weapons. I mean, if you've got Deebo Samuel and you've got McCaffrey, you got a chance. You got real guys, and you kind of look at the Colts and you say, okay, Pittman's great at going up in traffic and catching the ball and getting 8 yards. You know, so. And then Taylor, I don't know. Taylor's got a thumb and an ankle and a thumb, and when are we going to see him again?
Yeah, this has, and you said this earlier, this has keep you in it or catastrophe written all over it coming up Saturday night.
Well, you either play your way in or you play your way out. The result of this game is either going to be catastrophic toward your playoff chances or really boost them. And then you've got the Jaguars playing against the Ravens. And if the Ravens hold serve and they beat the Jaguars, you're tied atop the AFC South. You lose the tiebreaker, but with 3 games left, you got a real shot to win the division. If you lose, it's over.
Man, yeah, you know what, though? The AFC South became the AFC South over to last week. It did. The Texans got beat. Jaguars got beat. I mean, damn. It became the South. It did. It became.
Yep. And the Titans went out and got a win. So go figure. Yeah. South, it's not quite what the Big Ten is in college basketball, but it did kind of come back to form this past week. That's for sure.
Last thing, or one of the last things, you say you can't see Indiana winning at home. What do you see happening in the game? What do you see the score at halftime? Let's go halftime first.
I think they're down 15.
No, come on.
At halftime. I think that when Woody puts in the second unit, all hell breaks loose and Kansas goes on a 15-2 run, and the game, for all intents and purposes, is over. And then I think maybe they fight back in the first 5 minutes of the second half. Crowd lifts them a little bit. I think they lose by 27.
Jeez. Man. 27?
Well, I mean, they just got beat by Auburn by 1 million. I don't know. Maybe I'm too optimistic.
Are you trying to be devil's advocate so you're not disappointed, or is this an honest Kent Sterling?
33-3 left a mark. Like, there's something about Kansas, man. I see, that Randall and that whole group. I can't help but say, who is the guy with the buzz cut, the giant white guy?
Oh, Ostertag?
Yeah, I see that guy. I can't get that image out of my head because we would get so locked into Indiana basketball during that era and look so forward to going to McGee's and watching all the Indiana games. And like, you get pumped up for weeks to go see Indiana play in the NCAA tournament, and you're looking at the TV and you're drinking a beer and you're having fun with Paulie Ballston, Len Totlin, and everybody. And it's just like right in front of your eyes, the place bursts into flames. And you think, my God, what in the hell did we look forward to? So I don't let myself go there with Kansas anymore.
Believe me. I remember I can still see Paul Pierce as a freshman hitting top of the key jumpers. And my bar was so low for us against Kansas that I was excited that Richard Mandeville hit 3 threes or 2 threes in the game, and all night would get off my ass about recruiting Richard Mandeville. The bar is really, really low for me on Kansas, brother. But I always do this. I do. I always do this. I always say Indiana's going to win at home. I always feel like IU on a game like this is going to win. I don't know.
I love it. I wish I had that ready access to optimism, but in this limited case, I don't.
No. I have no optimism normally with Indiana basketball. Like I barely even watched the Auburn game, and when I saw your tweet, and then I text you, I'm like, yeah, well, it's just a matter of time. And all right, yeah, it was just a matter. So the only source of my sports optimism is Indiana basketball at home in a big game in December. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's all the time, though. I think they're going to win all the time at home. Yeah.
Well, I hope that you're a whole lot more right than I am.
That'd be a first. But guys are saying, hey, look, we're not going to bet on this because we both want Indiana to win.
Yeah.
You and Kent should bet on it. I'm not going to bet with Kent because I'm not betting on Indiana to lose. That's not, for Indiana to lose? No.
Yeah, no.
I'll be honest with you. I don't even think I'm watching. I'm playing golf. Urban's coming in, and we're playing golf at this place that's unbelievable. And so
nice. Live your life. That's a good lesson for people. We try to leave you with a lesson at least once a show. The lesson is live your life. Do not plan your life around Indiana basketball, around Colts football, or what you're going to do is see a whole lot of wasted weekends go by where you could have spent time with family and friends. If it falls right and you get to go and you get to watch and you get to enjoy, do that, but don't build your life around the sports TV schedule.
To your point, when Michael Penix did that iconic, we were just coming off of playing golf and we got into the bar just in time. I think we were watching just in time. I think it was Big Ten Network or whatever to watch the end of the game. I don't know what to tell you. That's living life. Hey,
you missed all the shit and you were there for the glory.
Yes. Like I can't watch the first half of any games. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't watch the first half. I don't want. I get excited to watch a game, and then I watch the game to start, and I'm like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
Not at all. And then I come back for the second half, and it's good.
You know what? 20 minutes, 50 minutes over like real clock, 20 minutes of basketball. I think it's a good. I watch the whole thing. I feel like, and I haven't missed an Indiana basketball game since I don't know when. I told you, Paulie Balls, Julie, and I drove from the north side of Chicago to Griffith to watch Indiana play Minnesota. I don't miss Indiana basketball games, but I'm getting to the point. I'm getting real close to where I'm starting to think maybe I'd rather do something else. They better figure out how to play well. If they're going to be less interested in playing together than I am in watching them, that's an equation that does not work for me.
That's bad business.
Yeah.
That's where I have a real problem with Indiana basketball. That's where my angst has been for a long time. I remember people got mad at me. I was doing the Indiana Ohio State game. I think Andrew was playing. Ohio State beats them. My phone is blowing up with probably people angry about Indiana, and Twitter, and my Twitter's blowing up because I'm a bad announcer and Indiana lost and IU sucks and everybody's mad. So I'm waiting for Andrew. I'm kind of sitting there on the court, and there's Juwan Morgan. Him and another guy, I forget who the kid was, and they come out. They're laughing. They're by the, you come out from the locker room, and I don't even know if they showered, and they're sitting there giggling and laughing, and and I'm thinking to myself, it pissed me off.
Yeah.
I know how pissed off Indiana fans like you or former players or fans that can't wait for the game. I know how much. And here's the guy who's the star player saying, "Hey, man, we don't care. We got beat. Who cares?" Pissed
They
me.
have such an opportunity every time they go on the court, and those opportunities end eventually. And if you don't take them seriously, and if you don't invest emotionally and physically in them, or if you already think you do but you really haven't, you're doing yourself such a disservice. It's such a, and to bring it full circle to what we started talking about before, McGinnis and Nedelecki and Roger Brown and Mel Daniels, Darnell Hillman, all those guys, they bought in night after night after night into their friendship, and they committed to each other, and they played like that. And for a team not to take advantage of that opportunity, that's a sin.
I was thinking about this. I was thinking about Wayne Radford died a few years ago, and I happened to read something about Woodson coming to Indiana, and Wayne was like his mentor. And there was a group of guys there, including Randy Whitman and Ray Tolbert and Landon Turner and Wayne. I don't even know if they all played. Wayne might have been too early. I know he came in. He probably was gone, but he was there to recruit Woody, and he was Woody's mentor. And there was a real pride of those guys being from Indy, in Tolbert's case, from Anderson, yeah, and having a real pride at playing at Indiana. They felt it when they lost. They felt it when it didn't go right. And I was reading that, and I was thinking about how I felt. I was disconsolate, even if I didn't play. If we lost, it wasn't just being afraid of Coach Knight or none of that. That's not it. That's not the deal. And that's something that I think you can get at Purdue. I never played there, so I don't know, but I know you get at Indiana. You feel like you're letting people down, and I don't feel that with Indiana. And that's another one of my problems with Indiana. You're telling me Xavier Johnson on his 6th year, or these guys, they don't give a shit. No. And see it too often. And then you know what else, Kent? I know I'm going on too long, but I heard people complaining about how much money they've spent to go watch Indiana play in these neutral site games, whether it's Brooklyn or wherever. Yeah. And those folks like Gritty, who comes on, they care more about the Indiana players care.
Yeah.
After the game, Anthony Leal's promoting the Leal deal at Mother Bears or some stupid shit.
And they think that we're the nutty ones.
Yeah, we're crazy.
Like the players think we're deranged.
Yeah, you old heads, you just don't understand. Yeah, okay, we don't understand. Let's do this. Let's get some guys in there that understand what we're trying to, I think Purdue probably has that, but in Indiana, it's just so much bigger. It's just so, I've always said, it's just so much bigger. And those are my real issues with IU. When I saw Juwan Morgan, and it just hit perfectly, Kent, because people were texting me, former players were texting me about a lackluster effort. Twitter was killing everybody at Indiana. I mean, killing Indiana with tagging me. Look how horseshit this is, blah, blah. And here's this guy laughing.
Yeah.
It just hit me totally wrong. And I would argue, I would bet you anything you want. 10 minutes after that Auburn game, while Gritty and others are pissed, they got to drive home. Indiana players were laughing, didn't give two shits. I'll bet you one.
Well, they're getting their bag regardless, right? I mean, there's no tangible. They can't. You can't run guys till they can't eat supper anymore. You've got the hours restrictions with practice. You can only be so punitive with those guys. What's a meaningful consequence for them other than sitting their ass? And nobody's willing to do that. Woodson's not putting people on their ass.
Archie didn't put people on their ass.
No, he didn't.
He did not. I will tell you this. I will be shocked. One thing about Indiana, Kansas, and you mentioned it earlier. I will be shocked if he goes with that shift change deal, the hockey shift change.
Right.
I will be shocked if he substitutes more than two guys when he makes his first substitution. I'll be stunned. If he does, he's an idiot. That's all I can tell you.
I hope you're right. I hope he doesn't do that. I don't understand the mentality of thinking that nobody can play more than like 30, 32 minutes. I just don't get it.
I would have paid. I would have, I remember running down. I remember missing a free throw on purpose so I could stay in the game. All right, last two things. Indiana, you gave me the score. They're going to lose by 27. Colts, Pittsburgh.
I'm going to say 18-14 Colts. I don't know. And it's going to be a weird 14 or it's going to be 15. I don't think either team gets to 20. If anybody gets to 20, they're going to win the game. And it'll be the Colts because the Steelers can't get to 20. But I think that it's going to be a tight game, and Matt Gay better make all his kicks. And you better find a way to score once on special teams. If somebody scores on special teams, they're going to win the game.
You know what the over-under is on DraftKings?
41?
42. Seems high for this one.
Boy. You know what, though? That drives me crazy. That makes me sweat the entire game. It's 7-6 going into the fourth, and you think, hey, I'm a winner. And then all of a sudden, bing, bing, boom, boom, there's a pick six, and they score 44, and you lose, and you wonder what the hell just happened to you.
My phone just rang, which might have screwed it up.
You're back. We're good.
Yeah. All right, last one. Purdue. Yeah. Purdue and Arizona. What's going to happen?
Wow. I think Purdue gets beat.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't think they're very good. I don't think that they're against a team like Arizona. You went away.
I know, but I'm here.
All right. I think Purdue gets beat. I just don't like they're that gritty. They would be the best MAC team in the history of the conference. You know what I mean? They're an unbelievable MAC team. I just don't see them as like a nationally, like if they played against Auburn even, well, that's going to be a tough game. I think this is going to be even tougher. I think they get beat.
You said Purdue's would be the best MAC team ever?
Yeah, they're built like a MAC team to me. They just got weird looking guys. They got a bunch of white guys. You got Caleb First, who looks kind of like a football player. You got Lawyer, he's kind of losing his hair. They look weird. Braden Smith looks like a MAC point guard to me, even though he doesn't play like it. The thing they've got is Edey, and Edey's kind of a difference maker. But boy, oh boy, I can't watch him play and think that they're going to win meaningful games. Isn't that crazy?
It is. I'm tired of hearing how much he gets fouled. All he does is knock the shit out of people. Honest to God, he gets fouled. My ass. He gives as much as he gets, and I don't even want to hear it.
He's the reigning national player of the year. Grow a set of stones. Stop your whining. Painters, stop your whining. And understand that if the national player of the year comes back to play another year, he's going to be targeted a little bit by defense. What do you want? You want teams just to lay down and let him score at will 75 points a game? What's the matter with you?
Yeah. I'm with you. All right, I'm out. Docket's out. Apparently, I'm frozen. Nobody can see me. See you guys.
All right, brother.